Hey everybody, it's Ken, and this is my 2-year ketamine update video. Now, for those of you who didn't see my 1-year one, I'll put a link to that in the description if you'd like to go check that out. As always, right, I'm not a doctor, and this only reflects my own experience with ketamine, and yours may be completely different, and that's fine. Everybody reacts to psychiatric meds of any sort differently, and their experiences are their own. So, okay, so let's recap on what ketamine is and how it works. So, ketamine reacts or acts on two particular neurotransmitters, glutamate and GABA. And the effects that it has on those neurotransmitters by promoting the regrowth of synapses, which are the connections between nerves, has resulted in antidepressant and anti-anxiety effects. And they're usually, the effects that result from that are usually, they come on very fast, right? So that makes ketamine very different from SSRI type medications. It can take weeks before you start showing any signs of changes. But the thing about ketamine is that typically the effects only last for about a week. And that brings me to my first update. So for me, my ideal treatment schedule is once a week. And I didn't want it to be once a week. After I'd started, I have tried a few times over the last 2 years to scale it back and go to, once every other week or once every 2 weeks even for a while. But if I miss even a single week, there's a noticeable difference, not only in how I feel, but Karina, my wife, can notice it too. She sees the difference. It's fairly obvious, apparently. Now, when I first began the Spravato treatment, my clinic started me off twice a week for the first 4 weeks or so, and then they tapered it down to once a week. And that worked fine, but like I said, I was always hoping to reduce the frequency just to save money and time. The time that I was looking to save isn't just, the fact of transportation, logistical issues, right? Getting to and from the clinic, which I've talked about in previous videos, but the fact that after my treatment, I am pretty much, I'm useless for the rest of the day for anything at all. Now, I don't just sleep the whole day away afterwards, but I really am fairly limited in what I can do, right? I'm just very foggy and fuzzy, and anything that would require a lot of attention to detail, it's just kind of a no-go for me. My brain is just too foggy, and sometimes my coordination is lousy too. I am a little resentful of that just because, like many people, if you're lucky to have days off, you have 2 usually. And so that pretty much wipes out most of one of my 2 days off, and then I'm just left with 1 day a week where I feel completely with it and have energy to do things that need doing, or even that I want to do, not even just the chores that I have to do, that we all have to do as part of being alive. While I appreciate the effects of ketamine and how much it has helped me regain my sense of hope and my life, it literally has given me my life back. It kind of sucks, and I know first world problems, but it kind of sucks that one of my own 2 only days off a week, I'm pretty much out of commission to do much at all. And some of you might be thinking, wow, you get to do it once a week. I wish I could do that because, Ken, there's a ketamine shortage, and it's really hit my treatments hard. So let's talk about it. So if you are affected by the ketamine shortage, let me know down in the comments. So a lot of you might be thinking, hey, Ken, you do Spravato, you do the nasal spray version of this. The ketamine shortage wouldn't affect you, except for the fact that since I've started, I'd say from my second week of treatment, I've always received a booster shot, if you will, of injectable ketamine. And the awesome part was that my clinic was covering the cost. The clinic was covering that cost for their patients, and they should be knighted for that. But as you probably are familiar with in our wonderful end-stage capitalism, if there's a shortage of something, then the price gets jacked up, and that is what happened to my clinic. And the people they can get their stock from now have jacked up the price 3 times what it used to be. And a lot of insurances don't cover the injectable form of ketamine. That injection is $30 a shot. That's $120 a month that I didn't have to pay before. So with it being $120 now a month for me to get the injectable version as well, you might be thinking, well, Ken, just don't get the injectable version. But just as there is a significant difference if I skip a week of treatment, there's also a noticeable difference if I just do the Spravato without the injection. And it's the combination that works best for me, right? There was an occasion where something had happened with the supply chain and I didn't have my Spravato, so they just gave me 3 injections, intramuscular injections of ketamine, and that was certainly different than what I'm used to, but it wasn't better, okay? For me, it's that combination. There's something about the Spravato and the intramuscular ketamine that works perfectly for me. So again, I'm just caught between a rock and a hard place, like so many of us are nowadays, with weighing financial concerns over our health needs. So 2 years on, is it worth it still? For me, yes, absolutely. Ketamine's not a magic bullet. It's magical in a way for me because of how completely transformed I felt after starting it. That constant dark gray, cloud that had been a part of my everyday existence for years was just lifted. So yes, it's absolutely still worth it for me to continue this. The bigger thing that I want people to take away from, if you're watching this video, is that ketamine by itself would not have saved me from the very dark hole I was in 2 years ago. It was the combination of ketamine and therapy that did that. This is the first time I've had a therapist that I genuinely trust and feel comfortable being honest with. And if you can't be honest in therapy, you're not going to get much that's meaningful from it. Anyway, that's it. That's my 2-year update. If you've stuck around this long, congratulations, you must be a masochist. But thank you for being here and sharing my journey with me. I really believe the more people talk about mental health matters, the more normalized it becomes, and the more we'll see both public and hopefully governmental support for expanding access to mental health care. Happy holidays. If I don't see you again before Christmas, you take care. And otherwise, I will probably see you in the new year.